Dr. Mark, before we get to Christmas, let's just talk about where we've been the last several months here, because we've been going through a time that none of us have experienced before in our lives, and the whole world is experiencing together. We've been sheltering in place, quarantining at different times, wearing masks, not able to go to the gym in many cases. So how have you survived through this time, and what is your best counsel moving forward to help us as we continue in this situation?
Well, I echo what Sydney said. We need to step back. There's a couple fresh perspectives that I intend to offer today to the viewers, and I think it will give a little bit of freedom, a little bit of calm to the current anxiety and fear-riddled society with which we have. First of all, we have viewed the coronavirus, and I hope people take this the correct way, as a gift. It has shown us our weaknesses physically, emotionally, and spiritually. It has given us a fresh perspective about the church. You know, you mentioned earlier that even the plurality of the concept of church is. There's one church, there's one body. And so when you have an opportunity to see the weaknesses in the three areas I talked about, you can make adjustments. Our opponent is trying to hurt us and kill us and take us down and take away our very vibrancy of life and effectiveness on this planet while we're here. And with that said, we've taken the perspective is, I'm going to strengthen myself spiritually. I'm going to strengthen myself emotionally. And I'm going to strengthen myself physically. And I'm not going to back down. This is a time for us to rise up, step up, stand up, and change some things that we've been doing. You mentioned even the idea of this celebration time we have. I mean, it is a cultural nightmare when you talk about the idea of, you know, putting things in our bodies that destroy our bodies and weaken our immune system. But we do it over and over again. And we just need to step back and take a fresh perspective. And I believe, my wife believes as well, that this has given us that opportunity. So we consider it, in a unique way, a gift.
You know, Dr. Mark, you're so passionate about, you know, people living out their optimum health and, you know, living fulfilled lives. And I just want to ask you from a practical standpoint, what can we do to boost our immunity system? Because that's a really big concern with everything that's going on with COVID-19. So what are some practical things? What are some steps that anybody can do today to make sure that they live that out?
Well, there's a few things they can do. And if they just begin to write these down, it's important. One thing I want to clarify is we don't boost the immune system. We optimize the system. The system is designed by the Creator. We are the only being that's created in the image of God. So the immune system is also in the image of God. So that's great to think about. We need to get up. We need to get good sleep. We need to get good activity. I recommend 150 minutes per week outside of dedicated sunshine activity. If it's cold outside in Pittsburgh, put on some more clothes. Get outside, get some air. We need to put in real fruits and vegetables. If God didn't package it in the garden like that, there was no French fry trees, there was no donut bushes, as we say. And so if it wasn't packaged like that, don't eat it. We also need to get sufficient sleep. 7 to 8 hours is really, really good. We need to unplug from social media. Don't listen to the fear and all that. Listen to Hope Today. It's important. Listen to good things that are going to fill your mind up. And finally, from a supplementation standpoint, again, we optimize vitamin D. We optimize omega-3 fatty acids. We optimize zinc. We optimize magnesium. And there's some other things that we can do as well. But that's some basic things that actually help the immune system do exactly what it's supposed to do. Viruses have been around since the beginning of time, before mankind was created. They're going to be here tomorrow. They're going to be here the next day. They're going to be here after Sydney and Tom and all of us are gone. We have the ability, based upon God's hands, to deal with them, crush them, subdue them, so they won't destroy us.
Well, that is such a good word, Mark. And it says that in the Bible that we're fearfully and wonderfully made. And that is amazing. And when we optimize those things that God's already made, it really, you know, sets us on the right course. But let's talk a minute about exercise, because it seems to me, I know it's been this way in my own life, when I get up off the couch, and even though it's cold outside, which it is in Pittsburgh, when you get out and you walk or you run or I bike a lot, but I don't do it this time of year. But when you do some sort of outside activity, there's so much that it seems to put into your psyche especially. I mean, I know it does good things for your body, but mentally it helps you.
That's right, because exercise has kind of got a bad connotation to it. I don't even use that word in the office. We call it movement. So when I am moving, and I went to the gym just before I came on here today, actually. And so when I'm moving, I'm putting on praise and worship, and I'm thanking God. I'm worshiping Him for just the ability to move. I can move my legs, I can move my feet, I can move my arms, I can do things. That's what movement is about. Movement is life, lack of movement is death. The more we move, the more we live. The less we move, the closer we die. And the movement itself metabolizes adrenaline, and that's a very important physiological response to understand. Too much adrenaline means too much cortisol. Too much cortisol over time causes us to gain and maintain belly fat. It also causes us to lose sleep. And it also, finally, back to our previous discussion, it will weaken the immune system response. So just by walking, just by going out and moving for, again, minimum of 150 minutes a week, we say, you will improve all of these areas. And guess what? The attitude in life will be a little bit better.
Well, Dr. Mark, just hearing about exercise, my husband and I love to go out and exercise. We've been trying to do that, during this season, but I do have a little confession to make, and I want to get your take on this because I feel like a lot of people are like that. We exercise, and then we treat ourselves to some cookies. How bad is the sugar? Like, is that okay? Is it okay to have a cheat day? Like, I've heard people say, oh, it's okay to treat yourself, but what are your thoughts on that? How do we balance that?
Well, I think there's just a different perspective to give people thought, and we're all very smart people, or we wouldn't be alive and created in the image of God. I offer back a response with a question. Did Jesus cheat? Did he go 80-20 on the way to the cross? Did he go 90-10? Did he go almost there? He went all in. And the bottom line is, if we just would not view food that's really not food as a celebration, that's the problem. If there's anything, is there anything wrong with eating a cookie? No. Is there something wrong with viewing the cookie as something good for us? Absolutely, because we all know it's not good for us. So we need to put it in the proper perspective. If we choose to have that, that's fine. We just need to understand that it does zero good for any part of our life, any part of our system. If we enjoy that, great. If we don't enjoy it, great. But we just got to put it in the proper perspective, Sydney, and realize that everything we do, just like our scripture in 1 Corinthians 10:31 says, everything we do, our thoughts, our ideals, our perceptions, our cultures, our celebratory habits, everything we do should be done with the concept through the filter of how are we bringing attention to the King of Kings and the Lord of Lords, from which we are a representation as an ambassador of a kingdom that's not of this world.